looked at it, is one step behind from where we were, so. And I'll send it back to him, because maybe he's not sending me the right one, so.
I don't think you should take action to the.
Right, and that's what that says. But then he also sent me something that said, I'm okay if you dissolve. So, that's kind of what started it to, okay, we'll do it, but I personally think it's the wrong one. I think if I ask him again, him and Scott have probably already, or at least Scott has maybe already made an exception for that treasurer hanging around for a while thing.
Stuff comes up, then you're kind of stuck there,
Yeah,
especially with it. As good as it is, how we're probably straight out of there. I think over.
yeah.
You like to be right us to people.
Yeah, I mean, water went over the dam. It's halfway downstream. My care factor's pretty low, but I didn't want to approve that language today. And then plus Timothy was gonna be here and now he can't. Suppose will not be. So that's fine. We got another meeting next week and deal with it. But I'm sorry, because if you came for that yesterday fell apart.
I got a meeting at 2 up with Beaver.
Okay. Cool. Him lately?
No, I think he's going back. Is,
Yeah.
he does have, oh, this time every year.
So what, I-500 stuff ramping up?
I know they've been going up there, usually they go up there on Thursday.
Yeah,
Probably. December, it really starts ramping up more and once it gets cold, then they can start putting the water down, start building the ice off.
do you go up, you are with him on some of it, don't you?
No,
Oh, who's he go, his name escapes. Who's the chair for all of that? What's, should know. Rick Frederick,
Rick.
yeah,
Yep. Yeah, he's been the chair for a long time.
yeah. I was thinking about kind of trying maybe go to that this year, especially if they get me some VIP, wander around wherever I want passes.
I've never been to the I-500.
I know, and it keeps getting bigger. Now NASCAR is involved.
And people from my hometown, they used to race up there and go up there all the time back
Yeah.
in the 90s, but. Yeah, me and two of my buddies, we were in the Sioux, Canada snowmobiling. And we decided we had enough for the day, so we went to one of the adult establishments. And all of a sudden, about midnight, we're like, there's 20 people from our high school in there. The high was not that weekend. We all about it. We're in there like 4 days.
Well, I told Sam, because I know he knows those girls from Canada. He tries to lie to me. He said, if I come up there, I'm gonna be hitting you up on what your connections are with all those Canadian girls coming down there.
Yes, and we had a rule that we would stop there right before coming back and get rid of all of our Canadian money.
Yeah,
Now, here's the trick. Think a whole bunch of $1 American bills, so this small bill of $5.
yeah.
And that $1 American bill, that's as good as a $5 bill.
Well, if I go, I'll be talking to him and Rick and whatever else. I think I'd like to see it once. You know,
They're doing, they do have a live stream on it,
yeah,
that they've been doing last year. I think that 1 year, that was,
I'm not a big NASCAR fan, but that certainly is gonna just about double their promotional value, if not more.
yeah. Yeah, cause the guy that owns Owasso is a big sponsor of 500. That's kind of how the whole, that got pulled in.
Yeah. Well, we have a barges.
Hey.
Look at that. I thought you guys were in Florida or something. No.
There's nothing down there.
Yeah.
I heard it, Florida got to 50 degrees and everybody was all frozen to poles and wearing their winter jackets and dying down there. Florida? It stopped, it was called a state of emergency.
I remember someone went through a 30. But yeah, seeing it on TV, like it'd get real cold down there and they have to put some stuff out there for the oranges and all that stuff.
Yep.
That's pretty wild.
They used to burn tires, but that's not politically correct anymore.
No, we used to do that in high school too at parties, but. No, they made a mess back then. Your shoes were completely covered. Black soot. Worst part is there's nothing that's gonna put that tire out until it burns out.
That's true. Oh, my. That flashback a whole bunch of old memories.
Oh, I'm getting that done. It was way with a lot more back then. There was no cameras around.
I know that, I know for a fact, because I had some friends of friends that there were cop kids. The cops would come in, they'd swoop in and they'd confiscate all of our beer. And then they would go away, and then the cops would have a party, a couple of days, and drink all of our beer.
Are you ready? We made it $4 out.
Want to wait a little bit? 12:30. We ready to go there, Andrew? All right. I don't think Timothy's coming, so I don't think. Yeah, sometimes he'll show up late, but I don't think it's gonna happen. So we might as well start. Call the meeting to order. And start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Well, thank you for driving up from Florida.
The cold weather.
Or the half a mile from your house, yeah, either one.
All right, could we have a roll call, please?
Trustee Detmer,
Present.
Clerk Fern here. Treasurer Hop,
Here.
Supervisor Bertrand.
Here.
And I excuse.
So give me a minute. I'm gonna try and run a timestamp through this meeting. So I'll be doing 4 things at once instead of 3. Hey, I threw something in here to, just to have a discussion on whenever possible, rotate the order called out on roll call votes. I think we already try and do that. But I'd like to try and make a point to keep trying to do that so that, we don't have one person being the last vote more often than others. I don't know if anybody's got any comments about that, but If not, we can move on or speak your piece.
No, I don't have an objection to that.
Okay. So for the agenda, number 12. Come on, fingers. Has to do with burn applications. I want to strike that. It's nothing that we need to do right now because it's not a problem right at the moment. That would be one amendment and then two additions. The cemetery staying open all winter is number 16. It would be number 16. And number 17 would be approval of the KCI newsletter at $6.75.20. So that would be an addition of 16 and 17 to the agenda.
How did we get from 12 did you have a special thing? Oh, I didn't get your new one. Okay, so we're.
Well, I'm saying strike 12 and then the
No,
additions.
but I only went to 12 on my, oh, I didn't get your new one. Okay,
You should have one that goes to 15.
yeah, I do, right here.
Okay.
I just didn't have.
All right, so then there would be two additions.
Yeah.
And unless somebody on the board's got something else they want to add, we can make a motion to approve that.
I got just one thing. After speaking with the auditor, he suggests that we have, Rebecca's, do a little more training because we made a few minor mistakes, but, when it comes to funds, money goes where and whatnot, got put in the wrong funds per se. Nothing with the audit was fine. So I would just like to add maybe bringing her in on an as needed basis. If we could add that.
Sure can. So that would be number 18. Anything else? Okay, I'll make a motion that we approve the agenda with the additions and the modifications. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, opposed the same. Motion carries 4-0. Okay, we can start right into the agenda. You should all have a copy of this, and it's got number 1 in the upper left-hand corner. There are a few over there on the table too for the public. This has got to do with the township board position decision concerning the Higgins Lake Dam SAD. The Timothy has been working on this for a couple of weeks. I think we've discussed it a couple times as a board. Because it's a resolution, I should actually read it for the record, so I am going to blow through here. The resolution would be number 2025-014. Whereas the Township of Lyon and Roscommon County, Michigan has been given notice by the Roscommon County Board of Commissioners imposing an at-large assessment on Lyon in the amount of, is this for me? I hope not. In the amount of $21,569.02 for the lake level control structure. Higgins Lake citing Part 307 Inland Lake Levels of the Natural Resources and Environmental Protection Act, 1994, PA 451 as amended, MCL 324.30711. Whereas Roscommon County Board of Commissioners held a hearing on September 2nd, 2025 to call a special assessment district roll to establish the at-large assessment against Lyon Township as determined by the direct benefit to Lyon Township using the methodology established by the Board of Commissioners. Whereas the time allowed by state of Michigan statute to appeal the at-large assessment has expired due to the 15-day requirement, after the special assessment roll call, which was required by September 17th, 2025. Now therefore be it resolved by the Lyon Township Board, Roscommon County, Michigan, as follows. The Lyon Township Board objects to the at-large assessment based on the methodology used by the Roscommon County Board of Commissioners. The determination that the road ends described in the at-large assessment convey a direct benefit to the township is unsubstantiated, as the county of Roscommon owns the road ends for which the assessment is established. Number two, the state attorney general for the state of Michigan has entered an opinion that local government is, now there's a word I've never seen before, impliedly exempt from a special assessment. The lake level special assessment does not convey a specific direct benefit to the township of Lyon for road ends / property. They do not own or have jurisdiction and objects to the methodology used. Stat should be probably establishing said assessment. We'll read it as establishing. Number three, the Lyon Township Board supports the appeal to the local circuit court as set forth by Garrish Township Board in regards to the at-large assessment based on the methodology that there is a benefit to the township for lands that are owned by the county of Roscommon. That is the resolution. We are here today to talk about, and the easiest way will be for me to run the motion. So do we have a motion to adopt resolution 2025-14 as written and read? Do we have a second? I'm sorry. Do we have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, a motion by Hops. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Detmer. Okay, any discussion on it?
So, I mean, this is basically just, we're objecting, but I mean, we're still gonna end up paying this $21,000. Is my understanding.
I think the point would be that if it ends up in the court system, we are tagging on to that in the hopes that if something changes, that we're in consideration.
I mean, there were these special assessments, which everybody will see on the winter taxes, are on them. So I just don't know if, I mean, this is great and everything, but they're on the taxes that are going out December 1st, so.
It is what it is. If it ends up in the court system and somehow it is, in my opinion anyway, if it ends up in the court system and somehow it is deemed that they cannot do the road ends because we as a township do not get a direct benefit from that, then that would certainly change it on our end. The assessments for people and their own personal properties is not even in this thing. This is about the road ends that they're tagging us for in Lyon Township.
But this gives us something in writing against what they're proposing. Yeah, I think that's fine.
Very much.
First.
Well,
Was there like a date we were supposed to turn this in by or no?
September 15th is what's mentioned there. You have 15 days as a formal objection, and we did not meet that. Interestingly enough, I'm not real sure that the road ends were an ad. And I don't know. Timothy was on this. He's not here. I don't want to speak to that. It is what it is as it represents right now, and then the board can make a decision to approve it or not. With any other discussion anybody's got about it. Okay. So I'll end the discussion and reread the motion. The motion is to adopt resolution 2025-14 as written and read. Could we have a roll call, please, Clerk Kern?
Treasurer Hull,
Yes.
Clerk Kern, yeah. Trustee Detman,
Yes.
Supervisor Bertrand.
Yes. Okay, motion carries 4-0. Sorry. The time. Well, second on the agenda is the Township Board position concerning the Roscommon County Board of Commissioners selection process for Lyon Township representatives on the Roscommon County Board of Commissioners proposed advisory board. Again, for the sake of discussion, I'll make a motion and we can get into what this is. So I will make a motion that the Lyon Township Board disputes the selection process used by the Roscommon County Commissioners to choose who serves on the Roscommon County Commissioners Advisory Board. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, so that opens it up for discussion. A long time ago, I can't give you an exact time, but it's been at least a year. Before the Health of Higgins Lake committees started, there was a push then to have an advisory board for the Roscommon commissioners. And at the time, there was a lot of pushback and it faded. The Health of Higgins Lake started up. That's been the hot topic. Suddenly now it came back as far as they wanted an advisory board, which all, sounds fine and dandy until they looked into the selection process. So they wanted two people, one person from each township board, but they want two people from each township from the special assessment district. One being a permanent resident, one being part-time. And okay, all, sounds great, except the township is not involved in the hire or in the appointment. So people could submit applications and then the County Board of Commissioners would select our Lyon Township representatives. When I realized that, I sent Darlene Sensor and all of them a letter saying that we object. How can you just pick people from our township and say that they represent our township? We should be involved in that process. Through a series of back and forths on emails, they're not going to budge. And it turns out that Darlene and Wolfson and one other commissioner are actually the ones behind it, kind of the advisory board. And the rest of them are kind of trying to act like, well, we got nothing to do with this. Well, you vote on this stuff. You're not going to walk away from this and say that's what they're doing. So they had a date where people had to submit applications. I don't even know where it is right now, but myself, I discussed it with her as a citizen. Now I'm bringing it to this board as a township board. Personally, I object strongly that they are the only people involved in the selection process to pull people from Lyon Township that they say represent the majority of this township. So having said all of that, is there any other discussion or ideas about that? And it's a motion, so we're on the floor.
I have a question. I thought, and I read it twice, and then I read it again today, and it sounded like one of the representatives had to be from our board.
Yes.
Okay, but the other two are them.
The other two are them. So if you look at the people, the way that it stacks up, there's a representative from each township board, but the voting process would be dominated by the people that they select.
For sure, yeah, okay, let's see that. So I did read it correctly. We get one, but one against perhaps two, and one against perhaps 20.
Yeah, again, the selection process, this motion is specific to
Yeah.
the selection
Yeah.
process. I actually don't understand why we could not have sat in on the interviews. Anything else from anybody? Okay, a motion's on the floor. I'll repeat it. Motion is that the Lyon Township Board disputes the selection process used by the Roscommon County Commissioners to choose who serves on the Roscommon County Commissioners Advisory Board. Could we have a roll call on that, please, Clerk?
Clerk Kern, yes. Trustee Detmer,
Yes.
Supervisor Bertrand,
Yes.
and Treasurer Huff.
Yes.
Okay, the motion carries. This is another one of those down the road somewhere it might matter. Okay, next on the agenda, number 3 is a final dissolution of any Lyon Township involvement in the GLUA. Yesterday going over the final paperwork, it's not correct, so I want to table this. I do have some more questions for the language with the attorney. We have a meeting next week. I think we can come into the meeting next week with something that matches what happened in the meetings. So I'll make a motion that we table this till next week.
Second.
Okay, any discussion on it? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those the same. Motion carries. Okay, number 4 is a Parks and Rec Committee survey and ice rink updates. Been working hard on a 5-year plan in order to distribute all of the requests for appropriations and grant money. We need it. The survey itself is now days away from being well, this will certainly we can discuss it some more, but it is already actually on the webpage. And it will be in the newsletter. There will be a QR code so you can go right to it. But if you went to the webpage right now, you can see it. I don't think it's active yet because we need to pay them. So if you go to the webpage, you'd see it, I think. And then there's boxes you could check and areas for comments on different things about the park. Whether or not it's actually working, I don't know. It's there right now. I'll get a hold of them tomorrow and Friday, and the hope was that it would all be up and going by Friday. But it's already there. So the survey had to do with Amanda, our grant writer, working on the 5-year plan. You have to have public input when you start asking for money for different things. So there was a pretty wide variety of choices a person could choose for the parks, which park, and then areas to comment. And that will get us on the road. Primarily, we're looking at like a $500,000 grant out of consumers that we could apply for in spring, if we can get this whole thing rolling. So the survey would sit out there till probably January 1, maybe January 15. Pull the data, and that gets submitted. The second thing, the ice rink update, the liner, the grant for the liner was approved, so we got a free ice rink liner. I think it
was the grant.
24, 2,600, can't remember right offhand. We have the border, we have the substrate. And this week, I think tomorrow, they're going to start putting that down before the ground freezes. Then we have to wait on the liner. The liner should be here by the 21st, somewhere in there. Once the liner gets here, we are going to help Markey. Markey's going to help us a little, and we need our fire department's help. It's 500 pounds. You basically put it in the middle, and then you have to unroll it without tearing it up. So you need bodies. So that's where we're at on that. Yeah, we scored a win on the grant process for that one. And I added right here bands. We met yesterday, Parks and Rec met briefly went over that the bands are pretty much all booked for next year already. For the summer concert series. Got, all the ones we wanted and more.
Hmm.
And I have to warn you right now, one of the bands, I told him they had to give us a better price, and he said, only if I play with them. So being me, I graciously agreed that I would do that. So I'm just giving you a warning.
What you get, well, let's expand on that warning a little. What instrument is gonna be?
Oh, I've played with a lot of these people. I play guitar.
Well, I mean, can you do guitar, horn, drums? What do you want?
I can
You
play
can
the
only,
play the hell out of a guitar. Yeah.
I have seen a one man,
No, not one. And, okay.
well, good.
So I'm just giving, don't say I didn't warn.
Yeah,
Okay, so that was just an update as far as Parks and Rec.
No, just on the survey,
Yes, sir.
I didn't see what was on the survey, so where did the survey come from?
The survey was put together at the Park and Rec meetings based on what we were looking for the grants, and Amanda matched up somewhat, tailored the survey to match what she was aware of that we may be able to get money for specific areas. Off the top of my head, it's for a asphalt walking trail around Park 27. It is for 2 concrete cornhole. Well, there's more than that.
So there's no board input on that?
The survey came out of Parks and Rec. No, not at this point.
So they just run their own show or what?
You know, it's funny. They say that about us too.
But we do.
Right. It came down to here's what happened. Remember when I went to your office and said, when do we have to have that newsletter?
Right.
And it looked like it was, we had 2 weeks, something like that. In digging around, I called her and she said, no, I gotta have it by Friday. So I have done nothing but worked on surveys and newsletters for the last 4 work days in order to get this thing ready so that it could be submitted by Friday. Therefore, the survey came out. It was out there in a draft form, but it came out. That's where it went.
well, I guess just from my standpoint, I think that's something that should have been shared.
Probably, it got into where I had 8 to 9 hours a day.
I mean, these guys, I mean, they don't bring us.
You wanna pull it back? I really don't. Things happen really fast around here. Surveys out there, if you wanna, I have a survey, okay. There's a certain amount of trust. I mean, I sit in there with them every day and explain your point of view to them. This one came over the top of us like a tidal wave. We had to have that meeting yesterday to approve what we had as a draft in order to be able to move it. See something.
And that's where the minutes, in my opinion, would come in helpful to be able to read from those Parks and Recs meeting. I'm sure that was probably in a meeting discussed. I don't know.
It would be in the last meeting was where the draft was finalized for the questions, yeah. So those meeting minutes actually got approved yesterday. I would suspect they might be, this thing just, the whole thing with getting it on the newsletter with a QR code, just boom. If it ain't now, it ain't gonna happen. If we didn't get that out in the newsletter, then in my opinion, we did not fulfill our obligation to give every resident a shot at saying what they want to say. That overrode, in my mind, trying to swing back through for further approval and waiting another week. Yes, could have done differently, no doubt. If you want to pull it back, make a motion. Other than that, I want to move forward.
I just wish there was some communication. That's all when it comes to that.
Okay. So, let me get to where we're at here.
Okay, didn't skip anything there. Number 5, legal firm review.
All right, so, update on our legal firm's review on the HLUA paperwork. And I have on here read and discuss. I got this answer from him and I want to read it. It's not like we're doing a motion or anything. I sent everything that was ever handed to me by HLUA, Camp Cornelia, all the people that came to our meetings and gave us paper. Looked at it, played around a little bit. There was some obvious things didn't make sense to me. I sent it all to the attorney. And here's his answer. I've had a chance to review, also talked it over with a colleague. Having looked at those documents you sent, I'm still of the opinion that we stay out of it for the moment. It's really a dispute between two of them. If we had known or got involved at the very start, it might have been helpful. But at this point, I think us jumping in and trying to force our opinion would be counterproductive. As long as we are getting our mandatory bond payments, I'll let them fight it out. If the board really wants to get involved, I can certainly try, but I'm not sure how much our opinion would matter, as it's a fight between them as to their billing agreements. Honestly, it all seems pretty petty to me and pretty simple to solve. If I had to guess, there's a second layer here where someone is purposely causing problems. Let me know if you have any further questions or want anything else reviewed before it says Wednesday here, which is today. So that's the answer. In general discussion, I would add that we've kind of been here for a couple of weeks anyway. I think as a township board, we have no position. As individuals, we may very well have some ideas and opinions. So based on what the attorney is saying, anybody here, any comments from the board? Okay, if we do not have an official board position, that at next Wednesday's board meeting, I will put on the agenda that we do not have a board position, but if anybody on the board wants to give their individual opinion, that would be the time to do it. And that way it'll be on the record. Okay. Number 6. Is to discuss and approve Kodiak Group as their IT company. You should have a copy of something that has a number 6 up in the right-hand corner. We are in a bind. As you would know, but not them. Last week, our server system went down. VC3, our previous IT company, is useless. By the time they even answer a ticket, you know, we cannot exist here without having the email systems up. Anyway, so we have been dealing with Kodiak to bring them in. Had to call them in and just say, come in and fix this. This is prior to having a contract. So we did. And they fixed it and they're going to charge us as a service fee for that. So the paper you're looking at here is a rundown of where we were headed anyway with Kodiak. The point would be that we would start to switch with to Kodiak right about the 15th. And then in December, the VC3 payment in December, we'll eat it in order to give Kodiak the time to come in there and do their onboarding and then switch to being our IT company. They are located in Grayling. VC3 is in Georgia. I'm not sure you need to say anything more than that when it comes to trying to get somebody here quick. So money-wise, and this is an estimate, and I can only give you an estimate based on where my understanding of where we're at with this contract. But you will notice down on the side by number 4, or at number 4, the onboarding cost. There is a serious amount of money that's got to be paid to these people that come in here for a week or so and reset everything. But that's a one-time cost. Also, somewhere in here is the talk about putting in a new firewall. Well, the firewall we had is what quit. So they came in and actually already did that. So when you get to the bottom of the numbers, you're still looking at estimates here. VC3 in the past, you could say approximately $7,500 is what they were charging us for terrible service. I don't know. I sent these guys emails. They couldn't produce a contract. They didn't have anything together. And when they would come and fix something, something else would go wrong. So we've been living with this for a while. Plus, the computers that are in the fire station, even with all of that bad service, they were not covering those, and they should have been. What I did not want to have happen was if all of a sudden they end up saying, well, wait a minute, we should have been charging you this stuff for a year or longer. And now suddenly we get a back bill from people who have horrible service anyway. So if you look at 75, you'd have to figure out that if we got into it again with another contract, that was going to bump up pushing $9,000 if they pick these other computers up. Kodiak, on the other hand, the approximate number, and this includes the one-time cost on the onboarding, which is about $2,000, was about $9,600 plus Microsoft, as some of you may be aware. Well, Microsoft is not the Windows 10. The Windows 10 also needs to be upgraded. It does not include that. So in the end, Kodiak is going to cost us more money. We are pretty much in a situation where we're going there anyway. So in finalizing the contract is a little gray. And as he even mentions in here, some of this you don't know until they come in and do it. Will it be more expensive? Yes. Are they more responsive? Absolutely. One of them lives in Roscommon, the other one's right in Grayling. Opposed to VC3 and tickets in 3 or 4 days and different people being involved. I called him, he was here in 20 minutes. That's worth something. So that's about all I can tell you about it because the numbers will not be completely accurate until the cost of the onboarding and what they have to do. If you remember, some of the wiring in this building was screwed up. So I can only give you a rough estimate as far as approving going forward with a contract for Kodiak to be our new IT company. So that is number 6 as far as my input. And for discussion, I'll make a motion that we approve entering into a contract with Kodiak Group as our IT consultant. Do we have a second for that?
I will second that.
Okay, for Mr. Hobbs. Okay, now we're in discussion. If anybody's got anything to say about it. I'm sorry that I can't nail the numbers down. It is just with that firewall going down, we suddenly got 10, 12 days ahead of it.
Make the change as soon as possible.
Change, if it could be yesterday, it would be great. You've sugarcoated this too much. VC3 is horrible. Absolutely horrible. The 4 to 5 day ticket return call and stuff like that is probably the average. We've had some as long as 9 days before they got back to us. We can't do it. We've called this Kodiak Group twice. They've been here within an hour each time. Each time within an hour. And the problem was solved almost immediately. I can't tell you how anxious I am for this change to take place.
Oh, and right now we've got an issue with, we can't accept any credit card payments.
Yeah.
So that's not good. I mean, we need to get this.
Do you know, because I know he was aware of that, was he working at it or was he not until we do this?
He said he couldn't do anything until we move on from these guys.
Okay.
Which is not. So we're basically left in their hands again to get this thing fixed.
Yeah.
Which is why these 2 offices for sure, the treasurer and clerk wanted.
No, I'm with you. I ripped these people before. We don't even have they can't supply a contract. We had one, they lost them. I mean, I lose things going on like that. Mr. Detmer, you got a comment on any of that or?
Don't deal with it, so.
Okay.
You go with, well,
Okay, so we can end the discussion. I'll state the motion again. The motion is that we approve entering into a contract with Kodiak Group as our IT consultant. Can we have a roll call, please, Clerk Kearney?
Trustee Detmer,
aye,
Supervisor Bertrand,
Yes.
trustee Huck,
Yes.
Mr. Huck, clerk Kern, yeah.
Okay, motion carries 4-0. 6, okay. The next piece of paper, which I believe you have, has a number 7 up on the top. Well, looking at the same thing here. Okay, this is the bid, the estimated bid price to, if you remember back, we had a bid of about $1,600 to get our $25,000 server up off of the milk crates on the ground and mount it up on the wall, run the appropriate wiring. So when we talked to Kodiak, I said, give us a bid on that. We need this done. It can't be laying around. So this bid is for them to do that is, as you read, it covers the patching and rack mounting and the equipment cables, swapping out the old one and do what they do for $602.76. So obviously, I know Mr. Hopstead said, see if we can get a different bid the first time around. This one's a lot lower, but some of the other costs in that first bid, these people are going to run into when they come in here and do the onboarding. They're going to find some of the bad wires. But it's a good bid price and it needs to be done, in my opinion. So I will make a motion to approve Kodiak Group to wall mount the $25,000 server that currently sits on milk crates at a cost of $602.76 minus the cost of the new firewall already installed. And I put that in there because I don't know if it's in it or not. If we already got the firewall, then this would go. So do we have a second?
Sure, I'll second.
Okay, then we have discussion from the board now.
It's right about $1,000 different.
Yeah, and it's probably gonna go up because the other one included fixing all the wiring and, you know.
Well, that's a lot of playing room, $1,000.
Yes, it's obviously cheaper and you know, we waited weeks for that other bid. I think he did this one in a day. He knows what he was looking at.
Mhm.
Any other discussion? Okay, restate it. The motion is to approve Kodiak Group to wall mount the $25,000 server. Currently sits on milk crates at a cost of $602.76 minus the cost of a new firewall already installed. We have a roll call on that. Please, Clerk Kern.
Supervisor Bertrand,
Sure.
treasurer Huck,
Yes.
clerk Kern, yes. Trustee Detmer,
yes,
Okay, motion carries 4-0. Okay, number 8, you do not have. This is something I'll try and explain here. Shoemaker Group is our webpage company. In order to update the webpage, this is what we were talking about earlier with the survey. That's part of the Park and Rec 5-year plan. We had to pay him. So I talked to him earlier about before he even created the survey, which is now there. And he said it'd be about $85 an hour. We also, I also asked him to look at doing a different setup. When you go to our webpage, it shows a picture of Higgins Lake and it's like a day like this. I don't even know how that happened. Most other web pages have a scroll through thing that changes about every 10 seconds. Or home pages, I should say. Changes about every 10 seconds and they're nice sunny pictures, you know. I asked them to, give me a cost on doing that. So right now where we're at is that I wanted to approve. I don't know what, this is another one of those, I don't know what the total number is gonna be. But I told them to do it at $85 an hour, survey to get it there. And then let me know on doing the pictures. So that's why it's on here right now, because we will owe them $85 an hour for whatever it took them to do that survey. So that being said, I will make a motion to approve only the survey work and the pictures updates. And I cannot give you an accurate number on that right now.
Is it gonna be all Parks and Rec cost?
Yeah, this is Parks and Rec, yeah.
And how have they felt about it? Their board, have you talked to them?
Yeah, spent most of the morning yesterday with them. They would like to really nail down what is their responsibility, and they have some ideas that some of this other stuff should actually be the township responsibility. And I said, give me a list. As far as the survey, it's Parks and Rec. As far as updating pictures on that webpage, that might be a little interesting right there about where the money should come from. Our webpage sucks. I've said it before and I'll say it again. This was the beginning of trying to fix it with the pictures and then reorganize things. Any other discussion?
Who seconded that?
Nobody. I guess I just started talking.
We did. Well, I'll make it legal then. I'll send it.
So turn for a second. All right, any other discussion?
Well, the other discussion will be, I sure would have liked to get this discussed with the board before you agreed to $85 an hour. But, you know, you're saying time is tough. Yeah, you didn't have a lot. We'll have to give you a little bit of leeway there.
On Friday, I was looking at something I thought I had 2 weeks to do and I had 4 days. For that. Any other board discussion? Okay, I'll restate it. The motion is to approve only the survey work and pictures updates cost. That would be the Shoemaker Group. Could we have a roll call, please, Clerk Karn?
Treasurer House,
No.
Trustee Detman,
Now,
Clerk Kern, yes. Supervisor Bertrand,
Yes. Okay, then, stalemated at 2-2. Probably bring it back up, following Wednesday and see. I'll probably actually have a number by then.
that'd be better. That's what I'd like.
Yipper doodle. Okay, breaks that one. Number 9. Okay, you do have a paper on this. It should be this thing right here that has a 9 and a 10 on it. If you don't have that, let me know. So, number 9 is a discuss and follow our legal firm's advice on meeting minutes. And that actually, that's a typo for me. I think it says as on your agenda. I'm not sure, but as opposed to previous discussions, meaning that we have talked about this several times. And then the attorney gave us his opinion on what we should be doing. It's completely different. It includes timestamps, which we were starting to do, board member input, and item numbered draft. Item, in other words, the items in the minutes numbered draft. prior to 8 days and final version posted subject to board approval and a consent agenda. So I'll read this real quick. From the attorney regarding the minutes, township, this is his opinion on how we should be doing our minutes. The township has 8 days from the day of the meeting to prepare and post a draft of the minutes. There is no provision that says that other members of the board cannot assist in preparing those draft minutes. In a previous conversation, Timothy was saying we cannot do that. In fact, the Open Meeting Act, MCL 15.269 says that the quote, public body shall keep minutes of each meeting, and the quote, public body shall make proposed minutes available for public inspection within 8 days. This is not a duty specific to the clerk. It's the responsibility of the entire party or the entire body. Subsection A, as long as you are following the proper protocols for communication. He references something I had said that the clerk could give drafts out to the board members, but the board members, if they had corrections or input, can only give it back to the clerk, not to the whole group. So he said, as long as you're following the proper protocols, then the board members may provide edits to the draft minutes prior to that 8-day posting. Then at the next board meeting, you would all discuss and vote on whether that final draft, which was posted, should be approved as finalized, or if there are further edits to be made. Most of this was news to me, but I kind of like that it finalizes everything, and I really like that it draws all the board members into giving input on the minutes. Again, being new, we're not going to just launch into this thing and have it down. But I will make a motion that starting on 11/12, that every effort be made by all township board members to follow our legal firm's advice and participate as individuals in meeting minutes, draft, feedback to the clerk, and to follow the time schedule protocol as laid out by our legal firm. Do we have a second on that motion? I ask one more time for a second on that motion.
I'll make a second for discussion.
Okay, so we can enter into discussion. I said enough already.
So was there something wrong with the way the minutes have been taken?
If you remember back in the meeting, the discussion had to do with, I look at them, there was some corrections that needed, in my opinion, to be made based on the video. And when we talked about doing that, Timothy was saying, you can't do that. That's all pretty much violating the open meeting. So the ability, in his opinion, the ability to give input to meetings drafts was illegal. So this is the attorney saying, yes, you can do that. But if we all get the drafts, like if he had something to say, if Mr. Detmer had something to say, he could not reply to all of us. He just needs to talk to the clerk. Same for me, talk to the clerk. And the fact that it would be posted as, if I have this right, it would be posted as subject to board approval, but be posted within 8 days.
As far as I know, they've had no issues with it. I don't know why we need to delve into all this. Seems like a bunch of.
I will say one thing, I didn't ask for the law firm's opinion on this, and I'm not gonna go by it. I don't particularly care what they had to say. I'm responsible for these things, and I haven't always adhered to the 8-day rule because I haven't gotten the thing in 8 days. In August, I didn't get any. And August was the 3 things that were absolutely horrible, weren't following the things. I never got them. When I finally did get them, I looked at them and agreed there was changes made. But when somebody says I've made corrections. I won't listen to that. You can make suggestions and things like that, and if there's an obvious error, I expect it, but everybody has gotten a copy of these things as fast as I can get them out. Once I've looked at the tapes, it's much easier to correct things that I might have had in my notes. So that part of it, I like. The 8 days, I'm not sure that's really a rule. I know you had told me once before you read somewhere 21 days. I read
I've been operating on 21 every.
Yeah, you know what? As far as I'm concerned, that's good enough. The reason being, there's plenty of time between board meetings. To get those things done, to get them approved. No, I think the way it's going now, and, I have had, three things back in the last couple of months of different things, and they suggested a different wording, something. But in order to change that wording, then we gotta bring back those minutes again and approve the changes. If things are satisfied, most of the board, I'm good with it. If they're not, then it'll have to change. Because right now, I don't think anything needs to change. Just my opinion.
Well, that's what we're here to do, right?
Okay,
I don't like the 8 days. I like the fact that it asks us to be involved as the body who approves the minutes. I think you and I have had many a running discussion over minutes. Timothy has come in here and said, I'm not approving this.
He doesn't have to.
No, but the reason that we video, in large part, the reason that we video is to have accurate minutes from these meetings. The input, I think I have a couple sets right now. My concern is I don't have the time, nor does Pam, to keep looking at the videos to double check the minutes. I have a pretty good idea kind of what happened. And I get the 8 days, because in 8 days, you're going to remember kind of what happened. 3 weeks later, forget it. So I get strapped into this having to watch videos while you're watching videos. It's redundant. It's kind of crazy.
but why are you watching videos at all?
Because I read things in your minutes that I do not think happened.
Then write it down and send them back to me.
But it's not my, I look at the video and I go, yeah, that's what I'm.
We'll talk about
Then
that the longest, and I wish we'd clarify that. Because that's the only time I didn't get the minutes. Later I got, but now whenever I ask Pam, 20 minutes later, I get.
Yeah, they've actually have been there, but she wasn't sending them to you. There's a way to get in there and look at it, but she wasn't sending it.
Not a way to me or why
Okay.
I can get in.
In either case,
Okay.
if we go, it's just a motion. If we do this, I get what he's saying and why. If we don't do it, we don't do it. Issues with the wording in the minutes. If you remember back, he warned us about this then too, why the record keeping is so damn important. With the issue with Pam and the money, and then the issue on the word and. So in my opinion, in my not humble opinion, I think all 5 of us need to look at those minutes. And then say, yeah, that's what happened or not. Is that gonna happen? If this motion happens, that might happen. Maybe it's not gonna happen.
You're still gonna get your copies to look at.
Yeah,
Whether you,
I don't think that it should be you, me, and Timothy.
no,
So if you gave copies to them and they give it back to you,
I give copies anyway.
okay, so you get them back as okay, or is it just me that's seeing things that are?
No. I got one back from Tim, so this was a little different one time.
Yeah,
And then now and then I give that redheaded girl in my office, I give a thing and it comes back, goes to Bill. And I'm saying this is the right way, and so, and then you'll get another copy. So, yeah.
okay, well, the motion is what it is,
Okay,
and, you know me, you may not be inclined to, and that's fine, but I try to follow the legal advice.
so I
So,
goes to the time, and I think you know that, but there's certain things that I have issues with, and here's one.
okay, so. Any other further discussion from the board then? Hearing none, I'll restate it. Excuse me. The motion is starting 11/12/25. Every effort be made by all township board members to follow our legal firm's advice and participate as individuals in meeting minutes, draft feedback to the clerk, and to follow the time schedule protocol as laid out by our legal firm. So I would like a roll call vote on this, please, Clerk Byrne.
Okay, Clerk Kern, no. Trustee Detmer,
No,
Treasurer Hub,
No,
Supervisor Bertrand.
Yes. Okay, the motion fails 1 to 3. All right, what's next? Oh, yeah. So on this, you have number 10 there, which applies to this next one, number 10. Times.
Mhm.
Yep. Come on.
GFL,
Yeah, just getting the minutes here. Okay, formalize and ask for reimbursement from GFL. So the attorney did give some feedback on that, and I'll read this. As you know, we were probably overcharged for quite some time. And Kevin and I have talked, we've all talked about this a little bit about what to do. I threw it at him, to see what the legality issues might be or his opinion. I would certainly ask them, this is the attorney, I would certainly ask them, meaning GFL, about a refund for overcharging. They should not be just billing us for homes which they do not service, especially over several years. I would like to see our contract agreement, if we have one, as it might describe in more detail their obligation to tell us about fees or what the proper fee will be. I would say it isn't worth a fight to the death over a few $100, but at the very least, I would like to have a conversation with them. And several years worth of garbage fees for 80 homes could be substantial. I'm not sure about the costs in your area. So that's his answer. And today I think I left this open to see if somebody, we can talk about my opinion. And this is just, I don't know, how many years was it, Kevin? Do you know offhand?
probably 8.
Okay, so for 8 years, we were overcharged. In my world, I would ask for 8 and be prepared to back off of that a little bit. In their world, I don't know what their world is, but that's, from my experience in negotiating, that's where I would go. We're here today to try and talk about it, or what you guys think we can do, and then maybe make a motion to do it. If we're gonna ask them for money and for how long to get the ball rolling.
Well, they said they're gonna go back 2 months. They've already given us credit for last month. But I said, hey, I can't speak for past boards, but can you at least go back to December 1st? When we came into office, and he said he couldn't do that. I said, all right, I'm gonna just, I guess, talk to our legal counsel and see what they feel. I mean, to go back 8 years, and that I don't know if we can do it or how we do it, but I will say he did tell me, he says, look, we got the resident count from the township board, so that's what we went off of. Now, didn't he? I don't know.
Done for that.
No, from back from 8 years ago. So I don't know. I mean, they're not gonna go back, they said, any more than the 2 months, so
Do we have any, or go ahead, I'm sorry.
I just don't, that's up to the attorney to say, do we want to fight him in court for, all them years? I'd like to, I don't know if we would win, but is it worth it? I don't know.
Do you have any idea how much like per year, how much money we were overcharged? Even a rough guess
Yeah, it's like $15,000
per year.
per year.
It's a lot of money.
2 months
It's thirty,
against 96 months, just
just
doesn't
over
do me.
$1,000 a month.
Well, like, and that's one of the, see, he doesn't know anything about this. So
No.
he's saying if it's a couple $100, then,
Oh,
well, it's not a couple $100.
I would let them know those numbers and, I mean, I don't know if we want to, I don't know how much it's gonna cost to do something like that, the township. Those guys have pretty deep pockets, so I'm sure they might welcome the fight, so. I don't know, it's up to, I think we get some advice, legal advice on it.
I think we can certainly send something this important if they're only willing to give 2 months. And you have May of 96 in advance. I think we better open some negotiations, and that's not our deal. Our deal was ask the attorney to see if he thinks it's
Well-
good, give him some numbers.
No, yeah, that's a lot more than he was even referencing.
Mm-hmm.
Again, what I know about negotiating after having doing contracts for a long time. You want 4 years worth? Tell them you want 8. You might get 4. In the end. We say we want 4, we might end up with 2.
Said it's $1,000 a month for those 80.
About 1,000 a month.
So
More than that.
to my way of thinking, it's only based on that, if you want 3 things, ask for 9.
Well, at 8 years, it would be $96,000.
Yes, it's a hell of a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
To me, if we ask for the whole thing, we might get it, we might not, but we can pull back.
Well, we can also ask his opinion, Bill's opinion.
Yeah.
Would you ask for the whole? And he would maybe say, just like you're saying, let's open up a different little can and see where that goes. They're not gonna give everything, and they're certainly not gonna give it easily.
They might not, they're not gonna give it easily, but
When you say we, I mean, I've already approached them and they said, no, this is all we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So they're done dealing with us. It's gotta be an attorney.
it's the reverse of if you want 8, I mean, they don't want to pay any of us. They're gonna.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I think the attorney needs to send them. So,
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that. I was saying that we could formalize what we want to do here.
Let's get those hard numbers down and,
I could make a motion that we send the hard numbers to the attorney and
yeah,
see what his thoughts are.
Perfect.
And then the contract kept kind of coming up. I don't know that we have a new one. It was like an extension of the old
I
one.
think it's just an extension, yeah.
That's what he's asking for, is he need to see that. So we can do all of that. We need the contract and then the accurate numbers. Yeah, that's a lot of money. A lot of taxpayer money, not ours.
Well, seeing that's why, another good thing is, every year we're gonna sit down and make sure our numbers. What are you guys charging us? What are we collecting special assessment on? To make sure they match. I mean, you have to do it every year because there's new people that come in and people that gone, leave, so. And we gotta make sure they match every year.
Okay, is there any other discussion from us? Okay, I'll try and make a short motion. I have a motion that we send the contract and accurate money owed to the attorney and seek his advice. Do we have a sec?
I'll second.
Any further discussion on it? Okay, we'll end the discussion. Could we have a roll call on that, please?
Treasurer Hunt,
Yes.
Clerk Kern, yes. Trustee Detmer,
Yes.
Supervisor Bergstrom.
Yes. Okay, motion carries 4-0. Okay, next, this is just me. You don't have a paper on this. Number 11, excuse me. To approve the cost of $2,800 update on a multi-use, non-motorized trail improvements at Park 27. In parentheses here, just for the explanation, that's to 4-foot wide and new signs. Lead in being, I got a hold of the DNR last week. We need a land use permit to do this. It's not that big of a deal, but it's not like we can just go do it. The phrasing of multi-use, non-motorized trail seems to keep everybody happy. So this is actually coming from Parks and Rec yesterday for their recommendation to do this. We've already talked about it. We've already had the bid. It is 2,800, right? Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll make a motion. This is on behalf of Parks and Rec. For that $2,800 for the brush out of 4-foot wide and new signs installed on the entire length of the multi-use, non-motorized trail at Park 27. And we have a sec.
I didn't know that was 4 miles, but I'll second.
Yeah, okay.
Well, 4-foot wide, I think it's 3 point something.
Yeah, it's almost 4 miles around.
3 different counts. The highest is 4.1, the lowest is 3.875. It's 4 miles.
But his bid's for 2,800.
Yeah. No, I just threw that out.
Now, we're into discussion now. I'm gonna tell you, he gave me this price. When Kevin was talking, I says, he was saying, nobody's gonna do that amount of work to put it to 4 feet wide for that length of thick for $2,800. He says, no, here, it's a cheap. And he showed me, I says, that's a steal. That's really a bargain. If that could be done. But we need some DNR approval, eh? Yeah, didn't.
Well, I talked to him, great, that's a great idea. I explained what Parks and Rec wanted with these stations for different kids stuff. You know, on the trail, oh yeah, that's all great, no problem at all, and I hadn't heard back from him, so. I gotta call him back.
Okay, so
The one sticking point had to do with, if you say multi-use, if somebody wants to ski on it, they can ski. If you call it a ski trail, there was a little bit of a hang up there with whether it was wide enough on the turns, but if you just call it multi-use, apparently that takes care of it. Multi-use, non-motorized. So you could hike it, you could fat tire bike it, you could snowshoe it, you could ski it. You can do a lot of things. Okay, any other discussion on that? Okay, I'll try and restate it accurately. The motion is on behalf of Parks and Rec to allocate $2,800 for brush out 4-foot wide and new signs installed on the entire length of the multi-use, non-motorized trail at Park 27.
God, that's a mouthful.
It is. Clerk Kern, could we have a roll call on that, please?
Okay, Clerk Burns, yes. Trustee Detmer,
Yes.
Supervisor Bertrand,
Yes.
Treasurer Hunt.
Yes.
Okay, carries 4-0. Who needs to call these people? You know them, or?
Yeah, I got their number. Same guys who did, the widening or the
Yeah.
trail we had to get off
Yeah,
the property.
repositioning, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can call them, tell them we passed it at that bid price. Don't be raising it.
Yeah, how much was it? 1,400?
Yeah.
28.
Yeah.
Oh, 14 for them, 14 for you.
We got the quote and,
Oh my God, we're actually not doing bad here. Number 12
You got a line.
was struck.
Yeah.
So I will say, come on. And going through the burn permits, on our last newsletter, it said you couldn't burn leaves right in front of God and everybody. We will have to do something at it, but most of the other townships burn permits are much less cumbersome. You just follow DNR advice. Because what it basically says is call the township to get one, but if you're not open, there's no, you can't like leave a message and leave your name and your address. So we'll have to look at that, but we don't need to do it. Okay, number 13 is discuss and raise the RAPS, Roscommon Area Public Schools Summer Tax Collection Rate. Take it away, Mr. Ops.
it just the rate increase that the schools pay the townships to collect their taxes. It's been at 285 for, I don't even know how many years. So I actually had a treasurer's meeting and I ran into Jim Anderson and we happened to be discussing is that after the meeting. And I told him what I was thinking and he said, that's funny. That's exactly what I was thinking. So we told the public schools are raising it to $3 a pencil. Not that big of a deal to them. It's, $1,000 a year. But it's been, and I just laid out, I just, explained to them, look, costs have gone up on everything on our end. And it's been like this for at least 3 years that I've found. So we have to raise it to $3 and they were actually fine with it. So I just wanted to, we probably should do a motion to increase it from 285 to $3 parcel.
If you want to just restate that as a motion, we can go right from there.
I just make a motion to increase the RAP summer tax collection rate from 285 to $3, starting in 2020, summer 2026.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay, so then for discussion, is there any other discussion from the board members on it? Hearing none, do we have a roll call, please, Clerk Kern?
Trustee Detman,
Yes,
Supervisor Burke,
Yes.
Treasurer Huff,
Yes.
Clerk Kern, yes.
Okay, carries 4-0. Next is number 14. If you don't have anything on, I'm just gonna talk about this. There was lots of emails flying around. I saw that they were addressed to everybody on the board. But this is to discuss a building inspector, zoning administrator contract pay increase. And excuse me while I get the time right here. There's no motion. We can revisit this next week, and you guys can tell me what you understand of this. From what I see, Robert is our building inspector and zoning administrator, and he gets paid X amount of money for doing permits and stuff like that, but he also gets X amount of money for being the zoning administrator. He's not happy. He doesn't think he's getting enough money for being zoning administrator. So if I'm not mistaken, we have a date coming up here in November where he's saying, I would like to see more money or I'm stopping doing this. Does that sound accurate?
Not into November.
Yeah, okay. So for one thing, some of the material he sent was the breakdown between this is what zoning admin does, this is what building inspectors do. And in going over it in the last couple of days, I realized part of this is when I get supervisor complaints or I get questions about, can I do this or can I do that? I forwarded to him. And he answers. I think that he's looking at it differently, where the time that he's doing that, that it should be structured differently or he should make more money. My personal opinion is he already has a contract for X amount of money to do exactly that. So if he were to quit doing the zoning admin job because we wouldn't give him any money, that's a breach of contract. But that's my opinion. So where are you guys on this?
What's the difference, from what he's currently getting paid to what he wants? You know, it wasn't like. He's getting paid 4,500 now,
It was something like that now. I didn't have the thing that
and he wants
bring with.
10,000 or something.
Huge amount of money that he wants.
It's a considerable amount of money, but like I said, if he did both jobs, there's no way that he would not be answering those questions. So he in my mind anyway, he just wants more money for doing the one part, which is fine, except to say, if you won't give it to me, I can stop.
Well, he's only gonna stop one. He's not gonna
Right.
stop the building
Let's
inspector.
pull his contract then and see.
Yes, I'm sure it's his building inspector. I don't know that it's a
See if,
administrator. That was just included in part of it.
I think it says zoning.
Oh, yeah, well, we'll look. Okay. It
He's,
may,
yeah, because it's X amount of money, because in the material he sent us, he had to break down for the money that he gets for.
and he's got all the other communities that have it, he does own it.
And that's what I don't like. Every time somebody comes up to me and says, this township, this township, this township, you should pay me accordingly.
Mhm.
The hair goes up out there. We are not every other township. The second thing being, the second part of it is that the fact that he has got himself very, very busy recently in his life, I think is impacting this. So when I did the newsletter, his input was that he was no longer going to be here on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And his hours would be by appointment only. And I showed him the contract, says, you have to talk to the supervisor about that. Oh, well, I said, you need to be here. That contract says Tuesdays and Thursdays, you'll be here. I said, I can soften it up and say appointments would be appreciated or whatever. But I sit there every day. People come in, they want to talk to him and they're told Tuesday and Thursday.
Mhm.
And that's what the contract says. So to shoot for more money as zoning admin and then try to not be in this building.
That's two
God
different.
bless America. If he's making money hand and foot and he's
Yeah.
working his ass off, okay. But that doesn't do anything for us in what we have a contract.
Let's see what's in his contract.
Yeah, yeah.
Zoning.
Okay.
And again, we have till next week to.
Yeah.
Kind of,
If it's in there, then he's gonna stick by his,
Yeah,
well, he's already said he won't do it.
and if he won't, then
well, then
he's gonna find somebody else.
whereas,
Well, and then the third part of that is, what does a zoning admin really do? Timothy and I have looked at some of that. The last request for information that I sent to Robert, he answered the questions and I realized, I think there was 4 of them could have got answered right in this building. Just by saying, Julie, what do you think about this? The zoning we have all winter where before it's going to get really, really busy. I'm not convinced that we need somebody at a huge rate of pay to do this anyway. So,
no, I'm not either, but on his behalf, I will say this, every time I've given him a problem or forwarded him some information, I've gotten back usually within a half an hour. He's very good at that. Whether he's worth that kind of money that we're talking about, or that he's talking about is, beside the point.
all right, well, we can look at it again. Just so you're aware, then it'll be on the agenda for next Wednesday meeting that we either approve his request or we don't.
Mhm.
Okay.
Timothy's out, I take it.
Timothy was interested and then he said he's not. Timothy would be a good fit because this is the stuff that's right up his alley. He would have several months, maybe he'll still consider it. He'd have several months to dig around. We have money available for training for each board member.
Yeah, tell him he doesn't have to, I mean, I know he's already said he doesn't have the time now, but tell him, hey, it's not, we don't need you December 1st. I mean,
No, and he was saying, I said, actually, you don't have to be in this building to work. If you had a laptop, you could work from anywhere. We all could, actually. There would be a public uproar, but we could. So if the township bought a laptop for the zoning administrator, I don't know that I'd have a problem with that. Okay,
To be discussed, all right.
all right, number 15.
Perfect. Oh, okay.
Okay, bids on office carpet cleaning. Take it away, whoever's behind this.
well, so the other day, a couple of the gals said, it might be a good idea to get this carpet clean. Well, there's, some stains on it. So I asked Miss Courtney, since she's been here the longest, I said, when's the last time this has been cleaned? She said, never in my time I've been here.
So that's 6 years.
So I said, well, let's get a price on it. So to do the whole entire first floor, $525. Not only do I think it's a good idea, I think it's a health issue idea. I mean, who God knows what's been in the carpet for all these years? And the guy says, I can make it look like brand new when I'm done. It's from DK Floor Care LLC. They're on the Houghton Lake.
It's a nice local place.
So for $525 to do library,
Library too.
hallway,
Mm-hmm.
all of our offices. I don't know, I think it's pretty good. I like it if
For how much?
$525.
So for 600, will he do the stairs to the basement?
Oh, I'm sure
Just kidding.
I didn't throw in the basement. Sorry, Bruce.
Only.
Nothing, I shouldn't be telling jokes.
The steam cleaner.
Okay, if you wanna make a motion to move it further ahead. Right up,
I just make a motion and do it to get him. I'll just make a motion to vote on.
Yeah, we'll go vote it out right now.
yeah, just,
Make them.
Yeah,
go ahead and
I
make.
make a motion to spend $425, steam clean. The first floor township. Floors.
Second,
Second.
Second by Detmer.
For $525. Right.
Okay, is there any further discussion from the board? Hearing none, we have a roll call on that, please, Clerk Kern.
Supervisor Bertrand.
Yes.
Treasurer Hub.
Yes.
Clerk Curran. Yes. Trustee Detmer.
yes.
Okay, motion carries 4-0. 16. Cemetery staying open all winter. We've kicked this around. I'm just gonna make a motion. I will make a motion that the Lyon Township maintenance crew plow the snow in the cemetery and allowing it to be open for residents to drive the main road from Old 27, park in the chapel area and exit on West Higgins Lake Drive. One way. For the sake of discussion, if we get a second, I'll explain.
Yeah, I'll second.
Second, Kern. We have all been here when people try and drive in from West Higgins Lake Drive and get stuck.
Yeah.
If there was a one-way sign right there coming out. If you drove in from the top, you have gravity working in your advantage coming all the way down, park in front of the chapel. Come on, way
We're
out.
not even considering that loop then.
The side loop would come after this. If we approve plowing that thing, then Parks and Rec would be looking at if we want to try and free up money to buy the snow blower. to do the side spurts. Or at least a walking trail down through the side spurts. Now granted, we could get no snow, we could get 2 feet of snow.
Well, the last 2 years are good examples.
Right,
2 years ago, we had our plow guy came by twice in the whole season. Last year was 14 times.
but to me, if a consideration would be to make that a one-way thing. Maybe not, but less people would get, a lot of, people my age. Pull in there from the bottom and they're not great drivers. He went and pulled somebody out. I've called people twice to pull them out. So maybe one way is an option, but just on the fact that we as a township will keep it open. I know Timothy has strong concerns about this. I'm not gonna vote for him, but. So here we are with a motion, seconded by Pern. Any other discussion?
Can we ask Bruce what he thinks?
You sure can. Bruce? Want to tell us what you think for the record here about this?
Keeping the cemetery.
Yeah,
Many people come through there and they come through your, whether it's your birthday, especially on special stuff. One reason I believe, and this isn't about me getting paid or anything like that. One reason I believe strongly that we should keep it all, this is a new age. That people pay for. The cemetery, maintenance, and considering. I think we owe it to those people that live in that village or the cemetery. The other reason is those people actually own property. They own property there, a 5x10. That they should be able to come to whenever they want. And those really are my arguments. I mean, I just believe for the people, when I guess if you've never had anyone close pencil rank, I guess you wouldn't understand. But for some of these people, it's very, very important. I see the same 12, 15 people every week. They come every single week. Some of them get down on their knees and they pay right in front of that grave. I think we owe it to these people to keep the cemetery open.
thank you, sir.
Thanks, Bruce.
Any other discussion on this from the board? Okay, we'll end the discussion. Could we have a roll call, please, Clerk Perm?
Yeah, let's see, where we're gonna start with the treasurer, Howard.
Yes.
Clerk Kern, yes. Trustee Ditman.
I was gonna vote no, but Bruce changed my mind, so I vote yes.
Sorry, what's it?
So no, but you changed my mind, so I'm gonna vote yes.
Supervision.
Yes. Okay, the motion carries. Okay, number 17. We good over there? Andrew? Oh, that's right, you gotta go. We're very close. How much time you got? Like? Nothing? Numbers, when you gotta go, you gotta go. I get it.
You know how to turn it down?
We got 6 here. We're good.
No, when you gotta go, just shut it down so that it's set up the next time.
Stop recording.
Okay, we can live with it. I don't think anything earth shattering is gonna happen here. So 17 is